gotta straighten y'all up. Wait a minute. If my hands actually don't say nothing. Make me sweat, make me harder. What's going on, y'all? Give me a second. I had to switch devices at the last minute. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. So this is a different camera, and I have not done an audio test on it yet. So let me see. Let me sweat. Can y'all hear me? Happy Monday. Happy October. What day is it? October 30th? Should get it from Alright. I got one, I can hear you. That's good to know. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's not too low. The peoples are rolling in. Alright, so bam. I'm looking at y'all right here. But I have the computer over here so I can watch the chat. Because the chat on the screen with the camera, ADHD be like having a field day. Let me pause this. Okay. All right. I'm just going to give it like a few minutes. Okay. Yep, you can hear me. Yes. Shout out to all of you all popping into the chat. I see you. Go ahead. If you are watching live, as always, please drop down below and let me know where you're watching from. My OG frequent and premium flyers, like I see y'all name and I know y'all at, but we have grown quite a bit since the last time we were on live together. So if you are watching live, please drop down below and let me know where you're watching from. Hey. Mute. No, let's get rid of all of that. And I'm about to tell the people on Instagram that we're on live right now. This is about to be their one and only. Why you open Instagram every other day and it's Britney Spears having a Britney moment? Like, can y'all just let that girl be? All right, I'm gonna take a picture of y'all. Actually, it's gonna be up on the right. There's a whole lot of equipment in the back. All right, let's get into it. Let me see what. Okay. Florida, Trinidad, Tobago, Georgia. Shout out to Georgia. Georgia is in the building. San Antonio. It's my grandparents live. Well, they used to live there. They don't live there anymore, but shout out to you, Virgin Islands. Okay. The islands are in the chat. We'd love to see it. Okay, so the whole purpose of the live, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna talk to y'all like we talking now. It's very much unedited, and I don't know. I might either go back and edit it and post it as a separate video, or just put the live up like it is. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too long because I'm hungry. I didn't think about the fact that I should have ate before this, and I didn't. So, you know, if you're eating dinner, congratulations to you. If you've already eaten dinner, I love that for you. Not for me. I'm hungry. So, you all know I have been at the new airline, which I will refer to as the store Nordstrom. If you get it, you get it. I've been at Nordstrom's, the new airline now, for October 27th. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, 7 months. 7 months I've been at the new airline, and it's been, you know, interesting to say the least. And I figured I owed you all kind of just like well, y'all been watching the whole time, but I felt like I kind of need to come down and kind of formalize like the whole like how are things been in like the 7 months that you've been there. And so instead of me like ranting about how it's been, I'm just gonna tell you all I enjoy it. I like it. That's why I'm still there. Instead, I want to focus on the questions because I feel like you can get a better sense of like how my experience has been and like what's actually been going on um, through my answers to these questions. So, y'all asked a lot of questions. And if you ask me a question pre Vlogtober starting, if I don't get to it, just ask me again because at this point, I just went through every single video from Vlogtober from October 1st all the way to, well, I didn't post a video yesterday. It's up now. It's up now. It's live. You can watch it after this if you haven't seen it. But I went through all those videos and got all of the questions that you all were asking. And so I'm just going to like Q&A it. And also, keep asking me questions in the chat. I'm watching the chat right here. That's why y'all see me keep looking down because I'll answer your question live if you got a question for me. So let's go into it. Somebody said, have you changed your theme song? No, I have not changed my theme song. I only brought back the fly, that one for Vlogtober. It's like, it's nostalgic at this point. It was like my very first like intro song when I first, these gotta go. They're gonna get on my nerves right now, I can already tell. It was my very first intro song when I first started, and so I moved away from it when I found oh my god, why am I blanking on the other song? What's the song that's my theme song, y'all? Like the actual theme song for the channel. Oh my gosh, what is the bruh? It's by Keegan. What's the song? What is the song? Hold on, now it's gonna bother me. YouTube description. All Day. That's the name of the song by Keegan. I'm just trying to make my wallet full. That one. Y'all supposed to be helping me out. So that theme song will be back in 2 days. At the top of November, that song is coming back. The one that we had for Vlogtober was just for Vlogtober. And then should I do the 12 days of holiday Foo La La not in October, in December, then we're gonna bring back our December theme song. But yes, not a day goes by. Yes, All Day by Keegan. I kind of missed that song, so it's coming back. It's coming back. Okay, so next one. Y'all, these are in no order, by the way. Why are you JFK based and not Fort Lauderdale or Miami? Well, that's a very simple response to that. Fort Lauderdale and, well, not Fort Lauderdale anymore. It's Miami base. The Miami base is closed. It's closed and new hire, i.e., they are overstaffed. They have more than enough flight attendants than they need to operate in that base. When I first applied back in the summer of 2022, Jesus, that seems like it was a long time ago. When I first applied, the only base that were options were JFK, Oslo in Norway, and London Gatwick. And obviously, I'm not a European resident, nor am I authorized to work there. So I applied for the JFK base, knowing that I would have to transfer, but I also knew they had a Fort Lauderdale base, and at some point, maybe, hopefully, transferring to Florida would be an option. Next one. How in the heck are you a teacher and a flight attendant? I try to figure that out myself. So I actually really do miss the classroom. I really do miss teaching. And I'm not even gonna hold you. Had I been out of the sky like a few more months, I would have probably went back to teaching full time because I really do miss teaching. I miss being in the classroom. I miss the kids. So I knew I had to figure out a way to make it work. I've been private tutoring now for a long time, since 2016, 2017. So you do the math. But I've been private tutoring for a lot of years. So when I made the transition into flying, yes, it was very easy for me to be like, I'm just going to fly and then private tutor. This year, fall 2023, is the first time I'm actually also employed with a school. So I actually work for a school system, well, for a school here locally in Florida, and I have to um, make it work. And so, how the heck are you a teacher and a flight attendant? I made sure that the teaching part was going to be super, super flexible. So I am what is considered a interventionist. So I'm not a classroom teacher. I work with students who need reading and math support, and they receive a certain amount of minutes per week. And I am one of a team of teachers who like pulls them out of class to do intervention and remediation. It can be in person or it can be virtual, which makes this part super, super virtual. Hello, hello. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. So the teaching part is super versatile. That is how I'm able to make it work. With the flying, if you haven't noticed, I tend to fly towards the end of the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those days, and then Monday, Tuesdays, and most of the time Wednesdays are the days that I'm at school. So sometimes y'all see me in the vlog. I'm like tutoring. I'm either doing virtual tutoring, but sometimes when I show tutoring clips, I'm actually doing teaching, like for the school. I just didn't go in the building that day because I'm virtual. So I'm blessed to have a school that's willing to work with me so I can do both. That was a long answer to that. What's up? Hey Terrence, welcome to the live. Before y'all get too deep in these, let me make sure y'all haven't asked any questions. Oh, do you tire of flying to the same cities? Yes and no. Yes, because like editing the vlogs, I literally, y'all, we going to Rome. Y'all, we going to Paris. Y'all, we going to Rome. Y'all, we going to Paris. No, because I literally was doing the same thing when I was flying domestic. Because I like my money, I flew the trips that had high credit. So I was literally in some of the same cities all the time. That's how we got the whole King of Newark situation happening, because I was like always in Newark, Atlanta. Where else was I at all the time? I was in Vegas, like the most. Those three cities laying over, and then I would lay over randomly in like a Chicago, a Orlando, a Cancun, things like that, Dallas. But for real, like I was going to some of the same cities like all the time when I flew domestic with the animal planes. If you're new here, Animal Planes is the nickname for the first airline I flew with, the previous airline, because it has animals on the tail. So I used to call it Animal Planes. The current airline I fly for, the new airline, we refer to that as Nordstrom. Let's see. Thank you for responding to my comment the other day. Oh, you are certainly welcome. Listen, I understand. I too got the TBNTs, the thanks but no thanks emails at the beginning of my flying journey. And so I know what that's like. You just gotta stick in there. Do not give up. Audit yourself. Think about your process, your materials and things. And yeah, pop back in. Y'all, why did I never submit the... Hold on, my bad. I was supposed to be posting on Instagram that I was live, and I like made it, but I'm just gonna put live. Y'all can figure out the rest. Does this airline fly to the Caribbean? Yes, actually, starting tomorrow. When is November 1st? Wednesday, when we start our winter schedule, they have routes to both Jamaica and to Barbados. And those are out of London. They actually literally just made a post about it. It's so funny that you bring that up, because that, I don't know if it's going to show. It's too bright. Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, it's too bright. You ain't gonna be able to see it. But they just made a post of it with the route map for the winter, which I'll be talking about in a minute, because I know one of these questions is going to come to it. Somebody also asked, where's the Beyonce concert vlog? That was a separate vlog. In the timeline of October, I didn't vlog day 11. And so I think it's day 11 that I just plopped in a Renaissance vlog. So it's, if you just look through my recent videos, just look through all of Vlogtober, and then it's gonna be a random one. It has a gray border, silver or gray border around the thumbnail, and that's the Renaissance vlog. How do you know how much to pack? Funny, because on my last trip I mentioned I didn't pack enough. So I've been flying now for a little bit over 4 years. You get really good with knowing, like, going on your layovers, like what to pack and how much to pack. So typically for me, what I'll do, my trips are 3 days. So we get there because it's a random time that, well, not a random time we leave, but it's a weird time that we leave. So when I get to the destination, it's like the middle of one day, and then I have like 25, 28 hours. And so I leave like in the evening the next day. So that's 2 days in my eyes. So typically what I will pack is one pair of bottoms and then two tops. So I'll pack like a pair of jeans. Uh-oh. Oh! That email. I'll pack a pair of jeans, and I'll usually pack like a t-shirt or some type of button up and something that's more of like a dressier top. And then I try to pack a pair of shoes that can go with both outfits. That's typically how I know how much to pack. And then I'm fortunate. I only fly international, so it's only one flight a day, one flight there and one flight back. So I wear one uniform shirt that I wear there, and then I pack a second uniform shirt to wear back. So I always have on a fresh uniform shirt, and so that makes packing for me like super easy. But it's something that you learn over time. This is the first time I've heard you give the new airline a nickname. I know I was workshopping nicknames for a while. And then one day I was talking to somebody and Nordstrom just rolled off the tongue. And so it really does sound like I'm talking about the store when I talk about it in public, which is why I also really like it. But yeah, I did giggle when you ran out. Listen, I was in, where were we at? Berlin, that last Berlin trip. I'm not used to the 4 day. I told you I'm used to 3 day trips. And so it was a whole extra day. And that last day of that trip, I woke up like, y'all, I really don't have anything to put on. So I just had on my lounge clothes, that like shorts and a tank top that I just keep in the room. And they were talking about going to breakfast, and I'm like, my options are to go downstairs in shorts and a tank top, and it's like 60 degrees outside, or I can put on these same pants that I've now had on 2 days. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going downstairs. It just didn't happen. I just didn't happen. Let's see. Hey, Brandon, will you be off all winter since your summer flights are closed? Oh, yes. I'll address your question right now because it's actually something that somebody else asked further down. So, at the airline that I currently fly for, Nordstrom, we have what is called a winter schedule and a summer schedule. And it's 6 months at a time. So, when I started, we were into the summer schedule. That's why I was flying what I was flying. We were bringing people, remember, it's a European airline. So we were bringing people from Europe to destinations in North America, right? Follow me. So in the summertime, everybody wants to come to New York City. Everybody wants to come to California and Boston and DC and Orlando and Miami. Get that. The other 6 months of the year, which is November, December, January, February, March, April, those 6 months were on our winter schedule. So it's winter in Europe. So where are we flying people? We're flying mostly people to vacation and warm, so like sun and sand destinations. So the schedule flips because who wants to come from snowy, cold Europe to snowy, cold Boston? Like, make it make sense. Or snowy, cold New York. Some people do, but not leisure travelers. So the schedule flips. And so the reason why those routes, I kept saying this is the last Rome, this is the last Berlin, is because those routes are done for the season, the summer season, and they're switching to like places like Miami for the winter. So where will I be flying? Paris. And honestly, you all, Paris is year round for us, and I'm actually trying to get rid of the trips that I do have and potentially just be off for like November, December. My birthday is in January. If I can be off for that, I would love to be off for that because I can actually keep teaching and be just fine. I can even take potentially like some long term substitute like positions for like teachers going out for maternity leaves and things like that. We're Gucci over here. But yeah, if they don't use me, I can either pick up some flights out of what's this place called? Miami, and work some trips out of Miami if they have the space for it. Or yeah, we're going to be going to Paris. So buckle your seatbelts and prepare to learn some French because we're going to be going to Paris a lot this winter. Let's see. Mm, have you ever thought about being a flight attendant recruiter? And what is one place you've loved traveling while working? Actually, I have less desire to be a flight attendant commuter, and I actually have more desire to be a flight attendant instructor. So recruitment will be cool, but there's something, I don't know, personally that I feel, I don't know. I'm actually going to hold that statement. I'm going to hold back on that one. I just, I don't know if I'm necessarily like want to be a recruiter. There's something about that realm that's just like not me. It reminds me of being in college and like doing move in for like those college tours and campus tour. I couldn't do it. I tried. They was like, oh, you should consider applying to do. It's just something about that first stage that I'm just like, no. I would rather be on the instructor side. So put them positive vibes in the atmosphere that Brandon will work his way up to being a cabin crew member, getting my purser qualifications so I can be in charge of the flights, and then potentially even maybe getting qualified to be an instructor. Now that is the trajectory that we're, if you're wondering where we're going in the next couple of years, that's the trajectory. What is one place you've loved traveling while working? Rome. Rome, the city is kind of boring, if I'm being honest. But there's an air about being in Rome and walking through the city that's like I don't feel that anywhere else of the places that I've been. And so Rome is probably my favorite destination of the three: Rome, Paris, Berlin. Rome is my favorite destination, and the food there is better than the rest. I prefer the food in Rome over the food in the other two cities. All right, let's jump back into these other questions. Real random. Does your airline require flight attendants to find their? Does every airline require flight attendants to find their own place next to base? It really varies. You don't have to live in your. Well, I'm gonna say that most airlines don't require you to live in your base. Um, some of them do, depending on the structure of the flying. But most airlines allow you to commute, which is what I do. Live in any city. You're just responsible for getting to base when you need to be there. And then you have options such as hotels, room shares, crash pads, and things like that for your base. But you do that on your own. The airline is not involved in that because like the third question on every flight attendant application is, are you willing to relocate for the job? And everybody says yes. And then everybody gets a job and does something else. But you're not required to, but they don't help you. Let's see. Compared to other airlines, including the one you used to work for, how were you liking working international flights only? That's a good question. Is the culture of your airline a little more laid back, or is it about the same? So I would just go off of the culture from the animal planes when I flew pretty much domestic heavy. I love the international flights. Love, love, love. LOVE, love. Simply put, every single day is one and done. And those of you in the aviation industry, talking about the number of flights you have to work, every day you go to work is literally one flight and done. That alone is unmatched from going from like working the three, the two, the three, the sometimes four flights in one day, that hustle and bustle. Some people like that, like get up and go, get up and go, like let's like bust this down type of situation. I thought I was that person, but now that I'm on the other side and it's only one check in, one boarding, one safety demo, well, it's not one service, it's multiple service. It's a whole lot of service. But then one deplaning, that's it. Like I love that. Like that alone has me like hooked. So yes, I absolutely um love the international only flights. And then I am fortunate because there are a lot of people who like wait years and years and years at their airlines that they work for to be able to hold only international flying, and to be somewhere where I was able to do that right out the jump. That was very appealing to me too. So yeah, that's why I am where I am. Is the culture of your airline a little more laid back, or is it about the same? The culture is it's, I would say it's different. Only in the fact that in Europe, like work and work styles and work rules are a lot different. They're not more lax; they're more lax than the U.S. But I feel like in Europe they're a little bit more restrictive in a way to like protect the worker, so that you can't be overworked and feel like that S word, SLAVE. Yeah. So the culture is really chill in the sense that my European carrier is not very punitive. I feel like a lot of airlines in the US, every single thing is fear based management, and it's definitely structured into like, let me scare you into complying and doing what you want, what we want you to do, how we want you to do it, when we want you to do it, and where we want you to do it. And if you don't do that, you're going to get some points. And once you get a couple points, we're going to fire you. Like that is like the culture of a lot of airlines in the US, is to manage their crews in that way. And I would say that it's not the same where I'm at. It's very much like laid back. Let's just say that it's laid back. I like it. Me, I like it. Had your airline started using Miami as a base yet? Yes, they've had Miami as a base since the very beginning, way back in 2022 when I wasn't even an employee. How do you really get through the stress of commuting? Commuting is a headache. It's a pain and a half. And it can be stressful. I will say the only thing that makes it doable is the repetition. So I have to literally do that every day. It's the same way when you like have to commute to work. Like if you are someone who lives, I don't know, let's say you live 40 minutes from your job, but every day you go to work, there's traffic, and then it turns your commute into being like an hour and a half going to work or either coming home. Like if you kind of expect that that might happen pretty much every day, and you plan accordingly, and then oh, today there's an accident, the freeway is broken. I mean, the freeway is blocked off. You can't get. You got to figure out another way. It's the same way with commuting. You just through repetition, you get used to it, and I mean, do you want to get paid? Because if you don't want to get paid, then don't go to work. But if you want to get paid, figure it out. Go to work. Mm, let me jump back onto this side to the chat. It looks like you enjoy dining out as well as packing your meals. What kind of budget do you allow yourself? Oof, my body has an answer, but I'm gonna speak from the mind. So yes, I meal prepping has meal prepping has been like part of my thing since I was in the classroom teaching, and then flying domestic. It was very routine for me to like pack my meals or whatever. So I brought that kind of over. Flying internationally is a little bit tricky because there are regulations about what types of food can and can't be brought into the country being the US. So coming back. Um, Everywhere else, they're so chill. It's the US. The US is the problem. America has a problem. But I do enjoy the meal prepping part. The second part, what kind of budget do you allow yourself? So I tend to try to be around $30 to $40 for like a work meal prep, because in my mind that's like 2 meals. Well, that's like 1 meal here in Miami, but in Europe that's like 2 or 3 meals. And so my meal prep has kind of changed. In the beginning, I was trying to do it like when I flew domestically, and I would like, try to pack like multiple entrees and different snacks and then breakfast options and this and that. Like over time, it's kind of like dwindled down, and I haven't even really been showing y'all my food bag because it's been very trifling, for real, for real. But $30 to $40 worth of groceries usually gets me like enough. Like I can go to Trader Joe's and pick up like an entree, like the bag of Mandarin chicken, and then like a bag of their vegetable fried rice, and I might pick up some other produce to add to it to beef it up a little bit, and that alone is $10, and I can divide that into 3 portions. So that's like 3 entrees right there for like $10. So it doesn't take a lot. Buying the fruit is the most expensive part. That's like $10 alone, $10 to $15 alone. It'd be like the fruit and the vegetables and stuff to make my little snack box. Mm, no, keep these questions coming. Don't apologize. I like these. Hey Brandon, I would love to know the most craziest encounter you've had while flying. So I always said I was going to tell this as a story time, and I never get around to do it. But I would have to really think about it. But one of my craziest is, and it's kind of TMI, but let's just say a passenger walked in the. I was using the lavatory on the plane, and the door was not locked, and a passenger just saw me in all my full glory, like. That is from like years ago, but I will never forget that one. That one stands the test of time. Like, woof. I will tell it in its like in its full length one day on the channel, but passenger saw me naked. Okay, let's just say that. Let me skip down these questions. How do you teach and fly? I already did that one. All right. What advice would you give to a new flight attendant that's coming from a work from home background for the last 10 plus years? All right. Advice that I would give for a new flight attendant. Get ready to be flexible, because aviation is always changing. Like it is so routine, and at the so root and with it being so routine, it's like stuff happens, and every day is like, what is going on? Like, especially if you're flying domestically, just prepare to be flexible. You're going to need all the flexibility in the world. Understand that you're going to be taught everything you need to know how to, like, you're going to be taught everything you need to know to do the job and do it well when you go through training, but you will learn all the sauce on the line. So you will get the meat, the starch, the veggie in training. But baby, that tzatziki sauce, that gravy, that cheese sauce, you're getting all of that when you get on the line. Your experience will be your best teacher as a new flight attendant. In terms of working from home, I don't know if you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert, but check your social battery. You will interact with a lot of people on a daily basis. So at the animal plane, our largest aircraft could hold 230 passengers, and I worked on one day. We had 4 flights on that particular plane, and every flight had over 200 people on it. So in that one day, that was 800 people that I saw coming like through the door, saying hello to and saying goodbye to, like interacting with. Even though you don't talk to like every passenger, but it's a lot of people, crew included, who will drain your social battery. So be prepared for whatever could come. And lastly, is take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Like, do what you need to do to take care of you, because the job can be very demanding in all aspects. When we say, oh, it's a flight attendant lifestyle, it truly is a lifestyle. Listen to your body and give yourself time to get acquainted to it. Okay, here we go. Shout out to you all. Anybody who's new that's hopped in the chat, make sure you let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see where you all are. Some of you I know, but some of you I don't. What are some major airlines new flight attendant candidates should apply to? Sorry for all the questions. I don't know if you're truly just interested in major airlines, and I'm assuming you mean the legacy ones or like the big four. So in the US, so much terminology, but the American, Delta, United, so the flag, the pyramid, the globe, those three airlines, and low-key Alaska. People forget that the Snowflake airline, Alaska, is actually a legacy. Alaska has been around for a long time, and so has Hawaiian. Y'all be sleeping on them. But Southwest is clumped in to kind of make like a big four or whatever. And I am a proponent of Nebraska. Ooh, what is the weather like? I am a proponent of like telling people to not fall in love with the airline, but fall in love with the life you want to live and truly know that and find the airline that is going to best suit that particular lifestyle. Because as you heard me mention, commuting, ghetto, very ghetto. Like, there are some flight attendants who will tell you they have been commuting for 23 years. 23 years of commuting because it was low on their totem pole of priorities and they wanted a certain airline. Um, know what you want in terms of the type of client, like the type of passengers you want to serve, business passengers versus leisure passengers, places you want to fly. Do you want to be home every night? Do you want overnights? Do you not want to sleep in a hotel bed because you want to be in your bed every night? Do you want to go all over the globe? Are you okay just kind of touching some international destinations? Figure out those things and then what is it called? And then like look at the airlines that more closely match that. That would be my biggest thing. But all airlines apply to all of them. But don't go off of like I really like this airline and not be able to list more than two reasons why you like it. Because pay can come, well, it might take some time. Let me not say that. You're on the wrong path. But uh, pay is the biggest thing that people look at, and pay is so subjective because there are people at what some might consider like poorly paid regional airlines, and there are some people at really, really prestigious like legacy airlines who make a nice dollar amount, and those two flight attendants will talk and tell you that they both are not wealthy, and so it really just varies. Like, that's a hard one to answer. Where are you planning to move? I don't know. I really don't know. Hopefully down the street. If not down the street, I might be in New York in the next couple of weeks. Y'all will find out soon. Nebraska, Queens, Philly, OMG. I'm missing a live. Girl, you're not missing a live. Run it back. Run it back once it's over. I grew up in Seattle. See, we love Alaska. People be sleeping on them. Listen. Baby, back in 2022 when I was about to make that jump, I was going after Alaska because I like the culture and they check some boxes off my list, except for the fact that all their bases are on the West Coast, and I'm not a West Coast person, and I only will go as far as Texas living ever again in my future. So yeah, I was like, the thought of commuting from Miami to like California or Oregon or Washington, Seattle, that little 2.5 hour commute up to New York, you think I'm about to commute all the way to the West Coast? That's 5 hours. Damn. So, but yeah, people be sleeping on Alaska. Don't sleep on Lasky, baby. Vietnam, what's good? I couldn't be a commuter, especially in New York. I would call out. It's cool. Yeah, the New York winter is really about to test me. I mean, I can imagine a bit of it. You know, I was Philly based at one time. We was out here, based in Philly and Trenton, New Jersey. So I was close. I wasn't in the city, but I was close. Let's see. Do you get the commute flights for cheap? Very cheap. $0 and 0 cents. That is one of the benefits. you will find out when you get on the job is that regular consumers, regular non-aviation travelers, they have a lot of comments and a lot of commentary about this airline and that airline, and I would never fly this and I would never fly that. Baby, on the other side, once you get in aviation and realize we're all walking through the aisle with the trash bags and items to discard, we all doing the same job. It just looks different. You appreciate them benefits, and one of them benefits is being able to commute on, well, list for commuting purposes on any carrier. So that it takes time. The larger and the more longevity your airline has, the more benefits you have. But the ability to work for airline B and to be able to get on any of these other airlines in the United States just to catch a ride going to and from work, baby, I don't care what the name is. I don't care what the seats look like. I don't care what the snacks look like, what you got to pay. I'm flying for free. $0.00. Thank you for this ride to work. And 3 days later, thank you for this ride back home. The weather is rude. 42 degrees. Ooh, Indiana. Okay, Orlando. Let's go. But yeah, commuting is ghetto. See? Smart. Get with an airline that's based. Get with an airline that has a base where you already live. You already setting yourself up for success. Can I get on your flight benefits? Listen, the 2023 is already taken. 2024 is coming up for what is it called when we like every year we get to like revisit the list and decide like keep the same people on, kick some people off, add some new people, that type of situation. Now that you're flying internationally, are you more interested in staying with international carriers in the future? Baby, I hope this is my last airline. I want to retire from here. I want to be gray. I want to be one of them flight attendants that be like, it's been 30 years. And I was here way back when we only flew to Rome, Paris, and Berlin. I want that to be me. Hopefully, this is my last airline. Um, but to answer your question, yeah, now that I've seen the other side, it would be very hard, very difficult for me. And honestly, I don't think I would go back to flying domestically, like for a U.S. carrier. Nah, baby, you're gonna see me over at Virgin. You're gonna see me at Emirates. You go Etihad, Qatar. You're gonna see me somewhere over there, flying internationally because no, 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 no. All right, let me go back to these questions. Oh, I'm almost at the end. Let's go. Look, we're wrapping it up. 50 minutes. Let's go. I was curious if you plan on staying in Florida and commuting to New York. For how long? Would you consider moving anywhere else other than Florida? I've already answered the first question. So on the short list of places that I would be living at, uh, Miami, Miami-Dade County, Miami Beach, Miami. But outside of that, nowhere else in Florida. Somebody asked me about Fort Lauderdale. Ugh, I don't even want to go to Broward County. I do not want to go more north than Miami Gardens. It's just, it's not me. But outside of Miami, uh, Houston and Austin are both on my short list of places that we might be moving to. Houston, Austin, Raleigh in North Carolina. Um, those three are on the short list. Well, I should say four. New York, because I might just enter my New York era. Like, is it time? Is it time to just go ahead and be like, I live in New York? um, Now on the long list of other places that I would live at, when I first got that job offer at Pyramid Airlines, Detroit. I knew I wanted to live in Detroit. So Detroit is buried down on the list somewhere. And then Costa Rica is I always want to get there. So yeah. Let's see. Is hiring? I don't know if they're hiring, to be honest with you. Most of the airlines have sort of, maybe slowed down just a bit. I mean, if they're Hiring, they might be hiring, but there's no training happening, at least for us right now. Does your airline flights into Athens? Not yet, but our predecessor did. And actually, word on the street, for next year, somebody mentioned, I've heard Athens, Barcelona, Amsterdam, and it was somewhere else. Athens, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Madrid, maybe, maybe. But I've heard all of those places come up on the short list of um, new destinations. We'll see. I think they're trying to be very conservative and not like overstep and get it right. And I need them to get it right because, like I said, I'm trying to be here forever. What do you have against flying London? So it's not that I have anything against flying London. I'm not qualified to fly London. So we have multiple qualifications for our crew. We have crew who can fly London and London routes, which we have a lot of London routes, mostly to like the US, and now the Caribbean routes. And then we have flight attendants who fly our Europe routes: Oslo, Rome, Paris, Berlin. I was hired last spring. I started in the summer. I was put into the group for Europe. So I'm qualified to fly Europe. I can go anywhere else that does not touch London. If it's a route that touches London, I can't work it. For now. Might change in the future. Maybe I'll get dual qualified, or maybe I'll hop over to just the London side. But for right now, no London for me. It's not that I don't want to fly. Actually, I really don't want to fly. I didn't realize that light was in the way like that. I really don't want to fly, but hey, it might come in the future. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. At your new airline, which carriers can you non-rev on? So right now we have 3 agreements. Takes time. Oof. When you talk about a pressure point, not having that long list that we had at the animal planes, I started the animal planes and they was like, bam, it go 72 different airlines you can fly on across the world. But at the new airline, we got like 3 right now. So which ones can we non-rev on? We can non-rev on the Bumblebee, and we can non-rev on the animal planes. And then there's one in Europe. Don't know the name of it, I think. I might be wrong about that. See, I'm not over there, so I don't know. But yeah, they've shared with us the short list of the other carriers that they are trying to work on, and so I just need them to like put that in motion. Let's see. Abroad is where it's at. Yes. See, Qatar, Emirates, and Etihad. Yeah, I'm just real chill. I'm kind of lazy, and so they be working. Like they be like above Chick-fil-A levels of service. So no. I'm planning a trip to this Nordstrom Airlines have lie flat seats. They don't have lie flat seats, but we have super recline seats. I'll show you in one of the vlogs, but they don't go all the way down, but they go down like enough to sleep. Cause Paris out of JFK, 7 hours. And the first hour you be up, and the last hour you be up. So it really just be like a 5-hour flight. So you don't need to like lie flat, but they go flat enough. DM mentioned your editing skills. I just watched her last vlog today. She was working. I miss her. I need to plan. This is what we're gonna do this winter. Since I'm not working, I'm gonna pull up on DN. I'm actually gonna pull up on a few of my YouTube internet friends because it's been a minute. What advice would you give a new flight attendant that was starting out on a reserve schedule? Whew, y'all thought commuting was ghetto. Reserve is even ghetto. Okay. So, advice I have for you with a new flight attendant with a reserve schedule. Everybody's going to say, read your contract. That contract, dense. It's like reading the Bible. Like, it be looking like this. Just thousands and thousands of pages. That was one. It's going to take you a long time to, like read the full contract and know everything. But in the beginning, like once you get through training, don't worry about while you're in training. Wait till you get on the line and you got your wings. go to the reserve section of your contract, get your highlighter, and go through and start taking note of the different things in the reserve section. Because I'm going to tell you, when you get on the line, there's going to be a bunch of new hires from your class all trying to make sense of the reserve system and the reserve schedule. They cloud in your ear. You're going to have the flight attendants who ain't been on reserve since the day Jesus sat down at that table, or the disciples for the Last Supper. They going to be in your ear telling you what you need to know about reserve. Don't listen to none of them. If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to the people who like, yeah, I've been here for like 6 months and XYZ. Those are the people you listen to, because those are the ones that are literally going through it right now and have gone through like the trials and the tribulations, and so they can give you like the best advice. But start making note of your reserve rules. Go through and make note of the rules for reserves. Your reserve schedule, and the reason why I say that is because you're going to be given a schedule, but after that first month, you're going to be able to manipulate. Whoa! You're going to be able to manipulate your schedule, and the more you know the rules, the more you are able to manipulate your schedule in a way that works best for you. So, the type of reserve you do, AM versus PM, um, the number of days you do on, I don't know if it's set or if you get to choose how many reserve days you have in a block, all those types of things. Once you know your schedule, you can manipulate it. That is the number one key. And buckle up for the ride, because if it's a U.S. carrier, they're going to figure out some way, somehow to use and abuse you just a little bit. But I'm joking. Not really, but kind of. Like, I don't want to scare you away. It is a lot of fun. Reserve is where, okay, let me paint this picture for you. The more you embrace a reserve schedule, the easier it is to be a line holder. And why I say that, as somebody who I used to do scheduling at the Animal Planes, and a bunch of new line holders, I would talk to them like, okay, so what type of trips do you want? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I like. Reserves gives you the best opportunity to like see the wealth of everything. You get to see the very, very best trips and the very, very worst trips, and figure out what works for you. Do you like flying in early mornings? Do you like flying late in the evenings? Do you like trips that have a lot of flights in the beginning? Like on day one, it's 3. Day two, 2 flights. Day one, go home day, only 1. Do you like to ease into it and only have like 1 long flight every single day? Those things you only know when you do them, and you do them on reserve. So just take it all in, soak it all up, and you can be more informed. Let's see. Yes, I would love Amsterdam. Listen, I would love Amsterdam for several reasons. Barcelona would be fun too. It looked like it's cold everywhere. I'm trying to stay in Miami. I really am trying to stay in Miami. Someone said, "What's Nordstrom Airline?" Uh, I will never say the name of the airline that I work for. It takes liability off of me. So you might see a name in a video. You might see a name on my, literally, like on my lanyard. You might see a name, but I'll never tell you what airline I work for. Like, so it's always a nickname. Animal Planes, Pyramid Airlines, Bumblebee, the Globe, the Flag, Blue Jet, and now Nordstrom. Nordstrom is the nickname for the airline that I work for, because for legal purposes, I'm not going to say what airline I work for. Now, if you saw something in the video, that was on you, but I'm not going to say it. All right, let's finish it up. Why don't you use KCM? I can't. KCM, which is known crew member, which is a security line, and the airport, because everybody got to go through some type of screening. KCM is a program through TSA, Transportation Security Authority Administration. Whatever the name of that program that got started post 9/11. Yeah, that's a program of TSA, which is a U.S. agency. So TSA and well, KCM specifically, is only for U.S. airlines. I do not work for a U.S. airline. I work for a European carrier. I work for a foreign carrier, not a U.S. carrier. I'm based in the U.S. because flight attendants can be based, live and be based wherever. I just can't use KCM. That was one of the questions in here somewhere. Is like, how are you able to do that? Yeah, baby, you just commute. There are flight attendants who live in London. They are based in San Francisco. They have to fly there every time they start and end work. There are flight attendants who are based in Guam and live somewhere else. There's flight attendants who live in Puerto Rico and they're based in Chicago. I'm not the only one that commutes. Somebody had asked that a while. Am I the only one that commutes at my airline? No, I'm not. At our JFK base, there are people that a lot of us commute from Florida, Miami specifically. There's also people that commute from Virginia, Philly. What's that state with Boise in it? Idaho, Canada, Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody's from Dallas. People commute from all over. It's the way of like aviation life. It just happens. Sheesh. I think I've answered everything. Yeah, that is an update of what we have going on. Any other questions before we kick this thing closed? Drop them down in the chat right now. Let me make sure.